In the Money song, Monty Python sang about how there's nothing quite as wonderful as money. There is nothing quite as beautiful as cash. Some people say it's folly, but I'd rather have the lolly. With money, you can make a splash. In recent years, the old folding stuff, moolah, wedge, bees and honey, whatever you call it, has been going out of fashion, replaced first by plastic cards and then by apps on smartphones. But according to the latest research, the Nelson Eddies, the Lady Godivas, the Horn of Plenties and the Ponies and the Monkeys are on the way back. Nationwide has reported the first increase in cash withdrawals from ATMs for 13 years. Otto Benz, Nationwide's Director of Payments, joins me now. Good evening, Otto. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you very much.
I am cheered by this news, but tell us, why is this happening?
Well, it's a good question. We think really that it's partially due to the end of COVID, and it's partially due to the fact that we are actually in a bit of a difficult time economically. And what we see is that people are taking more physical cash out so that they can use it to budget more easily. You know, when you actually take money out of the hole in the wall, you've got that money in front of you, and that's what you spend. And actually, that's what we see people doing.
Is there also, though, I appreciate that, but is there also an element at all, do you think, of a fight back against the cashless society and notions like, digital currencies and cryptocurrencies?
I'm not trying to say it's a fight back, but I definitely agree that the end of cash has been, called far too often and far too quickly. Cash is very much not finished. People are still using it. And I think people want to use it. And I think people like using it, and I think it's not finished.
Jasmine, you're the money magpie. Yes. What's your take on the knowledge that people are taking out more cash and just carrying it with them, spending it as they wish?
Yes, I agree that there are two main reasons. One is because when times are tough, it's easier to budget with cash, actual folding money. You can see it going out of your wallet. You realise how to budget. But the other thing is there is a fight back. There is a fight back against the encroachment of digital. A lot of people are realising that if we go fully digital, that's our freedom's gone. If we go to central bank digital currencies, that really is our freedom's gone. Right now, every time you use a credit card, and I use them, credit, debit cards, certainly, there's a trace on everything that you do. But importantly, there's a charge. So you've got Visa, MasterCard who make money every time you have a transaction there. They have been waging a war against cash because they hate the fact that with cash, they don't make any money. And so it's a very much a corporate push with some governments as well being very interested in the control element.
Jacob, you don't give a damn, do you?
Well, with due respect to the both of you, I can't stand this kind of technological determinism, Luddism, conspiratorialism around the end of cash. Of course, if governments want to put in kind of restrictive surveillance on what we do and buy, then that will be a challenge that we fight democratically. But that's not because of the technology. The technology is neutral. We decide what to make of it. And personally, I enjoy the convenience of paying on my phone and all the rest of it. And I know plenty of people who operate businesses. That's a huge, huge burden removed from the running of their business, having to count cash and do cash takes and all of these kind of things. And the transaction costs it's just easier and more convenient. And I think we should welcome and steer the technology in that direction rather than being conspiratorial.
Well, I think, convenience is always a problem. When you find something is very convenient, that is the danger. And what you have if we do go to a totally digital economy, then we have, as they've said in Davos, that we're going to have some major cyber attack. That's it. That's your money gone for, as long as the systems are out. We need to have something to fall back on. And increasingly, I think more and more people are realising that they need to have this safety net, frankly, of cash.
Jacob, Otto, are you still with us? Otto, are people taking out large sums of money? I mean, is it even possible to tell that? Or is it just the odd 20 or the odd tenner here and there?
People are taking out reasonable sums. The average cash withdrawal is about £105. Wow. So it's actually quite substantial. It's not just small sums. But clearly there's a whole range of behaviour there. Mm. But some people are taking small sums out and they're budgeting on small sums. But people on average taking more than £100 out, and that's the average for the year.
Would we expect a pushback then from, as Jasmine was saying, there's a very clear financial imperative for Visa and MasterCard and the rest because they get a payment for every transaction. Will they push back? Will it be even harder to get hold of actual money in the months and years ahead to try and further discourage that kind of antediluvian transaction?
I'm not sure I go that far. I think what I'd say is that the use of cash is actually really dominated by people who want to accept it. It's all about where you go to shop and whether they would prefer to take physical cash or cards. And actually, like you said, cash is not free. Processing cash is not free. Taking cards is not free. And actually, there is a competition there between cards and cash and what's the most convenient and what's less convenient. What I think we need to see in this society is to enable people to use the type of payment that they'd like to use, whether it's physical cash or cards. And we're definitely up to supporting both.
Jasmine Birtles here has a question for you or a point.
Well, yes, because I was thinking it's true. We do need to have both of them, because if you have just one, then that whatever one it is has all the power. And I do know that I think it was Visa. It was either Visa or MasterCard. I think it was Visa. A few years ago, were paying £10,000 or $10,000, depending where they are, to small businesses to go cashless. So there is most definitely an actual push to get rid of cash, to push small businesses, particularly, also large businesses, to not take cash. But I have quite a few friends who are now saying to businesses, well, if you don't take cash, I won't spend my money here. So we have seen a few businesses reverse their decision of going cashless because of that.
How do you react to that, Otto?
I think you're right. People use cash because they want to use it. You've mentioned some of the other reasons. They don't want to necessarily be controlled. But, it is all about convenience. It's about convenience for the people who want to use cash in shops. It's about the convenience of the businesses and merchants who take it. And I think we can probably live with both. And I think, cash is definitely not gone out of circulation. People still want to use it, and you can see that little growth back in the use of cash.
Otto Benz, Director of Payments at Nationwide, thank you for your time this evening. Fascinating.
Thank you very much.
Jacob, what about privacy? Does it not bother you that when you do something via, let's say, for example, a central bank digital currency, you're all for the future, that your every action, your every move, everything you buy, everywhere you go, every meal you share with friends will be attached to you?
Well, this question obviously comes up with everything related to the digital world, which is that there's a trail that can be potentially tracked and all the rest of it. That doesn't mean that we just kind of give up on the technologies and say the technology is inherently dangerous. It's that we come up with the right kind of laws and social attitudes to properly regulate them.